After trying to intimidate Rigiji yesterday by planting sleeper cells at his homestead, the shameless Kenya Kwanza goons have now moved to phase 2 of their diabolical plan, which is the arrest of Governor Natembeya. So this morning, Eacc officers rushed to Natembeya's home to arrest him. Na wakiwa pale ndani, Kenyans also rushed there to arrest and discipline the Eacc officers. I kid you not. Here's the tip. After that, they took out the tires of the Eacc officers. Here's the pictures. Then wakasummarize hiyo kazi yote, wakamaliza by kusaidia the Eacc officers kufungua milango yao ya gari. Here's the image. Not to mention pia waliwasha moto ya kukeep warm, as you can see here in this picture. Now moving along, the biggest lesson here exists for Eacc primarily. And the first lesson that they must learn is they need to read the room. You cannot arrest popular politicians as if ni mwizi wa kibeti hapa nje. That is just Natembeya, a governor of Trans Nzoia, hata atokangi nje. That is why some wanamuita mkabila is just there in Trans Nzoia saying Waluya, Waluya this, Waluya that. Wamemshika, they have seen the repercussions. Now what if washike Rigiji? Just imagine that. Muende mumshike huko wa Munyoro, munajaribu kumkimbiza na Thika Road. Mutafika kweli ama itakuwa imekwa barricade everywhere, hata Githurai mtu hawezi pita? Whoever is at Eacc needs to be wise. Kuna watu wa kupatia summon. You tell a governor or whoever, you have been called to the Eacc offices on Friday 10 a.m. Be there without fail. Sasa asipokuja, go arrest them. But if your first reaction is to jump quickly to arrest somebody, na unakuja na cameras, that means this is all political. Kuna mtu huko juu amesema yule jamaa ashikwe na mufanye ikue sarakasi kubwa sana. Mukuje na media na tunataka anikwe kila mahali. So that was not constructive, and it is actually dangerous even to the Eacc officers. Learn to issue summons. And then those who don't honor the summons show up with a heavy barrage of officers. So much so that people won't injure anybody or try and intervene. Otherwise, vile wamejionea wenyewe wametoka hapo mbio mguni ponye, some are even hiding under Natembeya's bed. I hope they learned that lesson. Lesson number 2 for Eacc. If you arrest somebody, you are making them even more popular. Kwa saa hii Natembeya akisema he wants to be president. I don't know about the rest of the country, but for sure in Western Kenya, every corner Na Waluya ndo watu wanajulikana wekangi kura kwa kikapu moja. But as at now, if Natembeya says he's going for president, every Luya everywhere will vote for that fellow. He might not win, but he'll win the entire vote of Mulembe Nation. Like, you are bandwagoning people around him. What are you guys doing? If the goal was to finish him, you might as well have ignored him and you just brand him a madman in the market. But by arresting him, now he's trending on Twitter. He's number one. The Luyas are up in arms. Other leaders who are allies to Natembeya are up in arms. Here's even what Eugene Wamalwa had to say. Roll the tape.
This harassment of the opposition must stop. And whether you use the police or not, hata utumie jeshi, wewe ni one term.
Even Ken Babu, the DAP national youth leader, put out this scathing press release, which I just want to read in brief, and it reads, "Statement on government intimidation of the opposition leaders and targeted harassment of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Governor George Natembeya. Onto the body, we strongly condemn the ongoing attempts by the Kenya Kwanza administration to frustrate, intimidate and harass the opposition leaders, particularly the Deputy President Rigathi and Natembeya. The rising wave of political persecution disguised as law enforcement is not only primitive and cowardly, but a betrayal of the very democratic values President Ruto once claimed to stand for. Being warned not to think about rigging the 2027 elections is not a crime. It is a patriotic call to uphold and respect democracy. Using that as an excuse to unleash political intimidation on the Deputy President and the opposition is both unconstitutional and immoral." Let me move on to the last two paragraphs, which said, "We remind President Ruto of his own words," and I quote, "I will not use the police to intimidate political opponents." End of quote. It is time to live up to that promise or step aside. The Kenyan people will not be silenced. We will resist tyranny in all its forms. Ruto was a mistake. We must never allow this to happen again. Signed, Ken Babu. You can just see the kind of reaction that this bad publication is getting. Sasa rais atapata kura ya nani Western? Aya, mumalize huko muende mshike Gachagua. Mutapata nini huko Mlima Kenya? If there was something you could have got, now it is gone. Again I say, the only way this government will survive 2027 ni kupanga namna hii, kupanga namna hii. And that philosophy is very dangerous. I hope that is not the way. But at the end of the day, guys, that's just my opinion. Do let me know your own comments in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to read them and to give you a response. Now, apologies, I can't be on camera. This was impromptu. This arrest, I didn't preempt it. So I'm just somewhere and I've decided to do this real quick before I get back to my activities. And with that, if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching for a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula, hit the subscribe button. You're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.